Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the post-Kentucky Derby 144 press conference. I'm John Asher from Churchill Downs. Hello, Robert. We're still getting everyone organized up here, so as we get everyone in place, I'm going to run down just some quick info about this year's Kentucky Derby. Crowd today, 157,813. It was the 8th largest crowd in Derby history. Looking on as Justify wins the run for the Roses. Good Magic second, Audible third, Instilled Regard was fourth. The winning owners also finished third in the Kentucky Derby with Audible, so a 1-3 finish for the partnership that owns these two wonderful horses, Windstar Farm, China Horse Club, Starlight Racing, Head of Plains Partners. Also, Head of Plains, Saul Kumin is back again. He was here yesterday with the Kentucky Oaks winner. And by my count, Saul Kumin now becomes the first owner to win. Hang on, I'm not there yet. Let's not get too anxious here. The first owner since Calumet Farm in 1952 to own both the winners of the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby in the same year. That was Real Delight and Hillgale in 52. And now with Monomoy Girl and, of course, today with Justify winning both of those races. Trainer Bob Baffert, who we'll introduce formally in a second, now with his 5th Kentucky Derby victory. Winning in 1997 with Silver Charm, 98 with Real Quiet, War Emblem in 2002. Of course, American Pharaoh, the Triple Crown winner in 2015, and now Justify. Mike Smith with his 2nd Derby win, winning with Giacomo in 2005, and now today with Justify. And Justify now an unbeaten Kentucky Derby winner, the 9th unbeaten winner of the Kentucky Derby, first since Nyquist in 2016. Of course, the most notable of all those was Seattle Slew back in 1977, who went on to become the only unbeaten Triple Crown winner, and now Justify has a chance to do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, after that, I think we've got everybody settled. We're going to go through the list here of who we have at the podium. We're going to start down here with the winning jockey, Mike Smith, again, 2-time Kentucky Derby winner. Two more seats down, Bob Baffert, the Kentucky Derby winning trainer. I'm going to go to Elliot and make sure I get everybody right in this group here as we go through all the owners of these wonderful horses. And Elliot, I'm just going to let you introduce everybody who is here at the table.
We have Saul Kumin with Head of Plains, Jack Wolf with Starlight, Mr. Kenny Trout to my left. Mr. Baffert, Alan Chastany, he's with China Horse Club, and Mr. T.O.L. King with the China Horse Club.
Congratulations to this group. I just don't know where to start with this group. Let's start with Bob first, though, because it's such a notable win. 5th Kentucky Derby victory for Bob Baffert, moves him out of the tie with D. Wayne Lucas on the all-time list of Kentucky Derby winners, still trailing the Joneses, but number 5 here, and an unbeaten winner of the Triple Crown, and a horse that breaks the Apollo curse, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since 1882.
Good.
First time since 1882, a horse has won the Kentucky Derby without the benefit of racing as a 2-year-old. Bob, this is a remarkable horse. You've said that all along. You've been as calm and casual as I think I've ever seen you. Just talk about how this feels and getting here with this horse and winning in the fashion that he did.
Well, I just feel that, I'm just blessed and lucky to, have a horse like this and to train him. And I've got a great team. And Elliot they sent me this horse. And, Elliot cost me a Triple Crown. And so this is his way of, you're off the hook, Elliot. But
It cost me a Derby.
That's right. So, but I mean, it's one of those things where, you just, you hook up, in this business, you have to hook up with the right people and to be successful. And if you don't train for the big outfits, it's tougher. And I really think that this horse came around. I mean, the first time we worked him there, and I talked to Elliot. I said, I think we have something really special. And after his maiden win, I thought, man, he is really, really special. Matter of fact, I thought the timer was wrong. I really didn't think he ran that fast. And his second out, then Mike rode him, and Braden Van Dyke did a great job with him, but I knew there's going to be a lot of pressure, so I just thought, and Mike Smith and China Horse Club, we have that history with, one of the most exciting wins last year, win the Kentucky Oaks with our favorite filly, Abel Tasman. So, I just thought it would be a good, mold, as your gut feeling, all a trainer can do is go by his instinct and gut feeling. I thought that was, the move. And so, and then he wins that second out, and then winning the Santa Anita Derby, being a horse like Bolt d'Oro, who was actually the favorite, which I think he's a very good horse. And so beating him that day was really pretty, that's when we knew how special he was. And to come here and, and do it on a day like when the weather, I couldn't believe the weather. I was not feeling great about it. Matter of fact, I was leaking really bad. I told Elliot, I'm not liking this at all. I was preparing my wife for a loss. I mean, we were ready, to head out the gate the minute they crossed the wire. But, this horse, Mike came in the paddock. The horse was acting cool. Mike was really cool, which is a very good sign because sometimes, you can tell when your jockey's a little bit nervous, it's not good. So, he came in there and we had a little game plan, main thing, we got to get out of the gate. If not, we're going to head out the gate, out the back gate here. But, once he broke clean, he was out there, and I was looking around. We knew the Dale Roman's horse was going to be on the lead, and I was watching Victor. I knew Victor was going to, try to stay close with us. But, when I saw 22 and change, I thought, wow, man, that is. And my wife, Jill, who's next to me, is like, oh, this is too fast. Oh, And then I saw, and I said, well, the half, they slowed it down. It's 46 and change. I think they slowed it down. She says, no, that's 45 and change. I go, that's not good. And so, and after that, I was just like, wow, man, this poor little horse. I mean, he's going to lay down. There's no way he's going to lay down. Man, all this, been fretting all week trying to get this big horse there. And I mean, it's like having LeBron James on your team. You give LeBron, you better win a championship with him. That's the way we feel. And so, when he turned for home and he was still there. But then I was thinking a little bit like Mike Smith, Bodie Meister, well, I don't know. All right, Mike, you did it to me again, So, but the eighth pole, and you could tell here we had, I was saying, who's that coming? And it was good magic. Wow, he's a good horse, man. There's good. This is the toughest bunch that I've ever been involved with. There's some really good horses in there. And
They all ran.
and they are, and I'm like, and then that last 100 yards, I knew that last eighth he was going to win, and I was just in awe of the performance. I mean, that's the best, Kentucky Derby winning performance that I've brought up here, and so, I mean, he just did it, he just put himself up there with the greats, It was, it takes a horse, like American Pharoah, is like, we know what he was capable, but he showed me that. We were talking about, I didn't want to say it, like, hey, I don't want to jinx myself, but I knew I had something really special, but, he had to prove it today. I mean, the curse thing really didn't bother me. I was just worried about us, just make sure that we did everything right, we shipped right, Jimmy Barnes, all my team, the Gallup boy, everybody was in sync, everybody stayed focused, and we've been lucky enough to have these good horses, and so we know what we need to do. When we get a good horse, we know we need, and then because that's why we're entrusted with these good horses and China Horse Club and jumping in, and so because it's incredible because the highs are highs, and I was having a tough week. If anybody was watching my horses run here, I was stinking the place up. Matter of fact, Jill's father wanted to know if we forgot to put deodorant on. Did you put deodorant on? Because you guys stunk it up. But it was yesterday. It was just watching Abel get beat was just torture. Watching her get beat, and things weren't. And so I thought today I think I'll win a couple and nothing. But then I won a race at Santa Anita. I think that broke the. I had a filly, we unleashed that one by 10. So I thought, well, it's not too bad. So, but I couldn't thank this team here for sending me this horse. I mean, they get the credit. They bought him. They took a chance. They sent him to California, and Mike Smith, he's all Hall of Fame today. He came through. That's a lot of pressure. When you have the Derby, it's a pressure. And you know, a lot of people, I say, "You having fun?" I'm not having fun. I'm miserable. All right, I am not having fun until they win. Then I start having fun. But it's a lot of pressure, and you know, the Derby experience is great. But you know, when you have a horse like this is the most important race in our life, and to win it with this horse, and as great as he is, I mean. And not only that, he's the most beautiful horse. You know, that 3-year-old. I mean, he is a specimen of a horse. I mean, you guys saw him when he walked up there. I told Elliot, I said, you know what? No, this horse, I've seen him all trained. I mean, this guy is he's special. I mean, he's just, he has that presence about him. That's one thing about every day at Santa Anita. Everybody says, "Who's that?" And that's the only one I know for sure who it is. You know, so it's like it's great. It's a great feeling. And by the way, I didn't tell my wife, but she brought out this beautiful green dress today, and green is actually bad luck in horse racing, but I didn't want to say anything. I know. A friend of mine told me a long time, "Don't never wear green because it's bad luck." And she pulled it out. I go, "All right, honey, we're going to see how good this horse is." That's right. The curse. We broke all the curses.
Let's go at this point from green to white, which is the color Mike Smith is wearing, and he's remarkably clean, I must say. After this trip, there's not many traces of mud on him. 2 derbies now, one with a 50-1 long shot, and now you win with a favorite here and a horse that looks like anything could be possible. Talk just a bit about the trip here, getting out of the gate. You know, you were facing some things you hadn't faced before, the off track, and of course, nearly 160,000 people. A lot of things for a colt with only 3 starts under his belt, and just give us a little idea of the trip.
You know, going in, I mean, my main concern really was just getting him out of the gate. Because believe it or not, I mean, he's just so talented. I mean, this horse is I just keep using this word, I don't know why, but he's so above average. It's unbelievable, and he's got a mind that goes with it. I knew that if I could get him out of there and just get him into a big rhythm, I mean, he can go fast because that's how good he is. I mean, he can go in 45 and still finish like he did. It was just incredible. But once we jumped out well, I mean, I didn't by no means thought I had it won, but man, it's a sigh of relief. I was just like, oh, you do it from here, man. I just basically stayed out of the way and just kept a leg on each side and my mind in the middle. And although I knew we were running along pretty good, Bolt Dior come to my outside about the wire and pushed me along a little bit. But I looked underneath my arms a couple of times, and the rest of them are right behind me. So I figured if I was going fast, they're going fast with me. So, and again, when I called on him heading for home, once he switched over to his right lead, he dug back in, and he could have went around again. He wasn't going to let him by.
Mike Smith is 52 years old, a remarkable athlete, the second oldest Kentucky Derby winning jockey. Only Bill Shoemaker.
Thank you.
I don't know if you wanted to hear that or not, but Bill Shoemaker was 54 with Ferdinand in 1986, and Mike, that's so much a testament to you. I mean, to be in the shape you're in and to ride these horses at this point and to be at the peak of your career. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, just keep riding horses like this, and they'll keep you around a long time. You don't have to work a whole lot. They do all the work for you. But just want to thank everybody up here. I mean, I'm just so blessed to be a part of it. And, you know, when Bob picked this one out, he told me, "You're going to ride him the next time." And I've been losing sleep ever since, but in a good way. I've just been so excited just dreaming about this horse. And all this morning I just kept, just what happened today is what it was daydreaming about all afternoon. I just knew he was capable of this. I just needed it. My job was just to get him out of there, and I did that part, and I figured the rest is up to him. And I know Bob and his crew already did their part, and he's just an amazing horse. I've never been on a 3-year-old like this.
I'm going to go to Elliot. Before I do so, I just want to make 2 more points about this ownership group. For one thing, China Horse Club has made an immediate impact on Churchill Downs, winning the Kentucky Oaks last year with Abel Tasman, and now coming back not only winning the Kentucky Derby with Justify, but finishing 3rd with Audible. And I must mention my friend Jack Wolf down here, who comes from this city and is the first Louisvillian. The first there are a couple other Louisville partners in there, but they are the first owners from the city of Louisville to win the Kentucky Derby since Old Rosebud in 1914. Wow. It's been a long time between drinks for Louisville owners. So
I was there for that.
Yeah, Jack says he's there for that. So. But let me go to Elliot, who of course has been a part of this event on every level as a trainer and now managing, working at WinStar and going to the winner's circle on Derby Day previously with this horse and now this horse. Elliot, just some thoughts from you, and then I'm going to let you kind of spread it around a little bit.
Well, just just feel blessed. We are grateful for the Trouts and what they provide for us as far as opportunities. And like Bob said, you can't do it without good horses. And a lot of people out there work really hard and don't have the resources that we do. David Hanley, who helps me with our bloodstock decisions and just does a marvelous job. And we're really good friends, and it's really fun to work at WinStar with people you love. And we have a plaque in the office that says Proverbs 21:31. The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but victory rests with the Lord. And that's what we live every day for. The Trouts are believers in Jesus Christ, and we are too, and it's just great to share that with them. It's not why we won, because we get beat plenty, but it's just a really opportunity for us as a family to, share the blessings that God has given us. So, this is a great ownership group. Mr. Tio and the China Horse Club and SF Bloodstock, who is also involved with all our 3-year-olds. They just came to us 2 years ago, and we put together a partnership to try to buy some 3-year-old colts, yearling colts at the time, and it gave us more opportunity to spread out and give us. Typically, we would put 20 colts in training for this opportunity to try to get here each year, and it gave us an opportunity to put 30 with the extra resources. So they entrusted us. They have a great team with Michael Wallace and Mick Flanagan, who do a great job for them. Obviously, they were here with the Oaks last year, not part of our group at that point, but they did it on their own, and so they do a super job of helping as well. This colt was really special as a yearling. I've been asked about how we bought him a lot, and he just stood out. Like Bob said, he's kind of like LeBron, and I got excited when Bob told me that he was going to run him he had a plan to get to the Derby, and I said, "Now, Bob, don't rush this horse. This was before he ever ran." You remember that, Bob? So then he hadn't even run yet. It was kind of the day before he ran his first race, and he had already kind of picked out his second race, which is an allowance race at Santa Anita, and I don't know how he got that to go, but it went with a 5-horse field.
That racing office, I can thank Mr. Hammerly and the Hammer and Tim Ritbo and Santa Anita.
They understood the magnitude of what we were up against as far as a timing thing, because he had to run that weekend, right? And so they helped us get the race to go. Obviously, he had to win it, and then it came up muddy, and probably was a blessing that it was mud that day, because he handled it well today. So Saul Cuman with Head of Plains and Jack Wolf came in, so I'm going to turn it over to them. Jack?
I'm just along for the ride, and it was great. And I know the partners, and I got to know Bob a little bit through the Pegasus when we were down there doing that thing. And when I called Bob and told him that we could possibly buy in on this horse, he said, "Can I get in?" So we're just tickled to death that we were along for the ride, and we thank Elliot, Mr. Trout, Mr. Tio, for letting us get on the bandwagon. So thank you very much. Saul, what do you got?
All right, I guess I echo my my wingman here. We were obviously, our group was super fortunate to be allowed to participate in this group. We've built a great friendship with WinStar Farm, with Elliot and Kenny. We have a lot of horses there, and they've been great to us over the last 3 or 4 years. We've partnered with them many times, and it's been a terrific partnership for us. TO as well, we've partnered on lots of horses with them, and obviously Mick and Wallace have been great to us. So to be able to be part of a horse like this, we knew kind of right away. I went out to the Santa Anita Derby and hadn't spent a lot of time with Bob, but I just saw the way he looked at this horse and the way he was acting around the barn. Came back and said, this thing's got to be the real deal, because you could just feel it from his body language. So thrilled to be here. Incredible weekend, and obviously thanks to the partners for allowing us to come along for the ride as well.
Let's get a thought from the other partners here before we open up to questions. Mr. Teo, would you like to say anything?
Just
Move
say
the
a
mic
few
over
words.
there. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. First and foremost, thank you, America, for allowing China Horse Club to set foot here, and the Lord lead us to all these wonderful partners, as you can see right in front of you here. And we are only here for third year, but I want to echo what our brother Elliot say. When you are really trusting in the Lord, I think the doors will open, and almost impossible thing happened for us last year, and again this year from the Kentucky Oaks, and this year Kentucky Derby. I want to thank all my partner and Kenny, and I have a very special friend here. He's very close friend of China Horse Club, but he's also happened to be the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. That we currently are building a racetrack. And I want to take 20 seconds to so quickly say that everyone here are welcome to come to St. Lucia. I get Prime Minister 30 seconds, please.
I just want to echo the sentiments to basically say that St. Lucia is really happy and proud to be a partner with China Horse Club. We're doing a project called the Pearl of the Caribbean. We're going to be having our first major horse race in February. And we look forward to seeing everybody down there. But I just want to say thank you to everybody for the level of support they've been giving us, and congratulations to Teo. He has big dreams, but he backs up those dreams, and we're here to live with those dreams with him.
Thank you.
Kenny, you're the last one. Anybody else?
I just want to thank all these partners we had. It's been a very special thing, and they invest in our stallions and have mares on our farm and everything, and it's just been a blessing to have them. And it enables us to also be able to go out and buy more horses and have more racing horses that allows us a better shot of winning the Derby or Grade 1s, however it is, and everything. And I want to thank Elliot and Dave, and then also Bob, for just unbelievable work they've done with this horse, and it's just been special. When I kept hearing Bob talk about how special this horse is, man, I got so high, because we've had some good horses, but never really a great horse, and this horse was special. Now, I want to say one thing. I looked at it a little bit different than Bob said when he was talking about worried about how those early fractions were. I thought they were good because they was going to get the other ones tired, and he was going to go on and win it. And so down the stretch, I got real excited as he started going and running and everything. So, but he's an A student, I'm a C, so we look at it different. So
I was a C student.
Okay, so but I just want to thank everybody for it. This was just a special day, and I want to say one other thing. Our farm and horse racing has really brought our family together, and it's so much fun. And the boys just love the farm, and Savannah and my wife Lisa, they love the farm, but they also love the social part of it too, with the parties and going to the races and things like that. And it's just been a special thing for all of us in the family, and I just want to thank everybody.
And again, remember, this partnership finished 1-3 in the Derby with Audible in third. Now we're going to open it up for questions. We got people with microphones here. If you'd hold up a hand, we'll get a microphone to you. And I'll ask you, as we have in the past, to identify yourself before we ask the question, and then we'll get rolling. So, where are we going first? Okay, here in the middle.
Me?
Yes.
Hi, Catherine Terrell, ESPN. This question is for Mike, actually. Mike, this is kind of mentioned earlier, but Bodemeister, Palace Malice, they've set similar fractions when they went to the front. So, I know, sorry, maybe not the best memory right now, but how was he able to hang on when they couldn't? I mean, obviously it's a very rare thing to be able to set that kind of fractions in the mud and still win.
Again, he's just way above average. I mean, he's just a special horse. He does things that are very easy. That actually comes very comfortable to him. I was actually slowing him down, although we went in 45. I was leaning back on him probably more than I normally would, just because Bolt Euro came to his outside and kind of pushed him along a bit. But he gets over he's so athletic. He gets over the ground so easy. He's able just to keep running. I mean, it takes a lot to try and keep up with him, and then you got to try and run him down after that. So you got to let a fast horse be fast sometimes.
Here in front.
Danny Brewer, Rutherford Reader. Hey, Bob, how much horsepower you got right here?
Where are you?
Here I am over here.
Oh, what's that now?
How much horsepower you got?
Well, what did I tell you he had? He's a supercharger. He had, this horse, he just, you know what? In all fairness, like Bodemeister, there was, they used to have the point system where they used to let all these little, sprinters in and stuff. And so I think now that they've changed, with the horses that earn their way in, the good horses. And so but Bodemeister still, that was the most incredible. He ran just really fast, and he hung on for a long ways there. But the track was totally different. But they're all different. But this horse is just, he's a big horse, but he just does it. His mechanics is just, he just covers the ground. I mean, I knew, like Elliot, we talked about that promises. He's going to be there. He's going to be close. But I mean, he's a fast horse, but he's never seen a horse he's never been next to a horse like that. And when you have these horses like that, they're like humans. They know, they take over. They know they're in over their head. And this horse is just, like I said, he's a superior. I've said it over and over. He's a superior horse. I mean, Arrogate, American, those are superior horses. And so I just lucky that I have him, and I'm just glad he landed in the Bob Baffert barn.
Bob mentioned points, by the way. This is the sixth straight favorite to win the Kentucky Derby, two of them trained by Bob. And but since the road to the Kentucky Derby point system has come about, he is the first horse that has not been the points leader to win the Derby. He was actually had the 100 points off the one Grade 1 win. Who's next? Right here. Go, Lenny.
Yeah, Lenny Schulman, Blood Horse. This is for Kenny Trout. Kenny kind of started on the leaky roof circuit at Sarbin or somewhere like that. Could you just speak to getting to this level and what it means to you to win races like the Derby and the Belmont, and that the journey from the dusty plains up to here?
What he's talking about, I was up in Omaha, Nebraska, and I was in horse racing, and hey guys. And in '82, I got out of the horse business and said, I'm not going to ever get back in until I can do it the right way. And so we got back in 2000, and it's a business to me, and it was really helped me an awful lot. And then that's when we just start. We bought Windstar. Actually, we bought the farm, 400 acres, and now we're up about 2,600 acres, and it's growing, and we got stallions and doing well, and it's just been a blessing.
Next, right here.
Hey, Childs Walker with the Baltimore Sun. This is a question for Elliot. It's two parts. First of all, how did you choose to go with Bob for this horse? And second of all, are you already looking forward to Baltimore? And I mean, do you feel like this is a horse that can pull off the 2 weeks?
Well, we certainly feel like he's got a chance to pull off the 2 weeks. I mean, what he did today was phenomenal, and Bob's had great success in the Preakness as well. So we'll hope for that, right? And as far as why we sent him to Bob, we were Kenny and both Michael Wallace at the China Horse Club both. Had wanted Bob to train some horses, and so we ventured into California last year. Gave Bob a couple. We gave him a horse named American Anthem, and he did very well with him. And Bob and I have had a great relationship over the years, and I just appreciate his camaraderie with communication, and that's important to me, that we can communicate on a level that I know what's going on, whether they're 50 miles down the road or 3,000 miles down the road. And so Bob's been great that way. As far as why we sent him Justify, I can't tell you that there was a great reason for that. We did think Justify was one of our better horses, and if you're going to send a horse to Bob, you want him in the first barn. You don't want him down the, you don't want him at Los Al too long. We had to send him to Los Al, and I kept saying, Bob, when are we going to get him to Santa Anita? When are we going to get him to Santa Anita? So finally got him to Santa Anita. He worked him. He goes, man, this horse can run. I said, well, if you got him over here 3 weeks ago, we wouldn't have had the Apollo curse. So anyway, but Bob's a great trainer. He's very capable on so many fronts, and one thing that we try to do is hire trainers that are very good at their craft and hold themselves in high esteem, and I mean as far as integrity and doing the right things, and Bob fits that mold perfectly.
Right here.
Mike, this is for you. Tim Wilkin from the Albany Times-Union. How much did you have left at the end? And in this sport, a lot of people always talk Triple Crown. What are your thoughts when you hear that?
To answer the first part, he was holding him off at bay pretty good. He wasn't going to let nobody buy him. Audible actually was running a little bit down there on the rail. It was running late, but I certainly could have kept my foot on the gas a little longer if I wanted to, and he would have stayed in front a whole lot farther. As far as the rest, that's up to Bob and everyone. We got to see how he comes back, I'm sure, and he's going to be a little tired. He's only run 3 times, but he seemed to come back fine. As far as a horse coming off of running 1.25 miles, he seemed to come back real good, and what I feel about his ability. I mean, given the opportunity, there's no telling what this horse can do.
Second row right here.
This question's from Mike. Mike Spector from RacingDudes.com. Mike, after getting on a fast pace, you were able to slow down the third quarter to 25-1. Talk about that key point in the race, and if Justify just has different gears to be able to shut him off and back on when needed.
Well, I'd like to tell you that I planned that, but it doesn't quite work that way. Honestly, when you get a horse with this kind of talent and a stride like his, it's just about getting into a rhythm. You get them in a really nice, happy rhythm, they're going to run. It's just a matter of if you can hold the closers off. But, I mean, he's going to run his race. And I felt very confident down the backside. At the 3/8 pole, we'd put Promises Fulfilled away. And I was able just to kind of sit still on him just for a little bit. And he kind of took some air in. And as soon as I called on him again, he jumped right back into the bridle and was all racehorse at that point.
Okay, we're in the back here.
Jake Moore from the Courier-Journal. This question's for Teo. How did when you started in the American horse owning American horses? Was it 2 years ago? Could you have imagined that this would come so soon? And what's your future goal for the China Horse Club?
Well, thank you. If I had to be honest with you, of course, we set up a 5-year plan, but this is our 3rd-year plan. And it's gone beyond our 5-year plan now. So we have to go back to drawing board, and of course that means digging into the pocket, the purse, and to really strengthen. Do you know, honestly, and I was looking at 3 phones, it's buzzing right now, and there are a group of Chinese members today in our midst. There are about 16 of them, and all of them are the captains of the industries in China. The win today is equivalent to a gold medal in the Olympics for China Horse Club and for the Chinese in the China regarding thoroughbred racing in America. Where else to score a point and to make a point that racing is for everybody, and except in United States, and to cap it off, Kentucky Derby. So to cap it off, I'm just said we are very grateful that we're going to continue and our commitment to racing in United States with our great partners here, and unless the partner doesn't want us, so we'll stick with them.
Frank Hanks here in front.
Frank Hanks, Blood Horse. This question's for Bob. You talked about the abilities of this crop of 3-year-olds, and you had some of the talented horses in this crop. Do you recall when you kind of thought maybe Justify is my best chance this year?
Well, I mean, I really, Mackenzie, he was, I thought he could have been, one of the top 5 choices, and he'll be coming back. But then he came around, this horse came around, and I knew I had 2 really good horses, and we had Solomini. And then when, I remember I was in Dubai when I'll never forget, we were going to get ready to go out to dinner, everything was going well, and then I got a call from Jimmy that Mackenzie wasn't, he had a problem. And I'm telling you what, in this business, if you have a good 3-year-old and you get that call that your horse is injured or something, it is just like, it just rips your soul, I'm telling you. And so it was like, and my wife had just gotten there, and she looks at me and she goes, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" She could tell, and I didn't really want to tell her right away because she frets. Like, I try to keep all that in, but in the back of my mind, you feel for those owners, the Pegram, Watson, Whiteman, because they're all looking forward to this. But the only thing that made me really go, get through it, I knew I had this big red son of a gun sitting in the barn that looks like he could be pretty good himself. So I was just fortunate I was in that position, and so. But it's tough, and in this business, it's a great sport. It's a lot of fun, but there's some times you have to go through it. You're going to it's not going to be roses every day, and so if you can gut it out, like they know what it's like. There's good and bad. We see the good, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of failures, and so if you can withstand that and learn that as an owner. That's one thing about Kenny. Kenny has the passion, but he knows what. And Elliot, he's been as a trainer. He knows what we go through. And so that's why when I talk to him like he's another trainer. This, we're dealing, this, whatever. But it's you have to have that passion, but you also got to be able to get out. But these animals are so beautiful. That's what, I get to go to work every day and be around horses like Justify, Mackenzie, and all these good horses. And but they will break your heart. They will break your heart. And but it's one of those things. And my wife Jill, she bears with me there. She keeps me going. When I get down on myself, she lifts me up. She's, thank you, Jill, for. You're my rock. And by the way, Mike Smith, he just got engaged. Stand up. Look at, he just got engaged.
Question in the back row.
Hi, Joe Neville's Daily Racing Form. Elliot, can you talk about your selection criteria with yearlings and how Justify filled into that and maybe how he deviated from it?
Well, basically we look for our racing stable is geared towards trying to produce stallion opportunities. So, we first look at pedigree and try to look through the catalog, and pedigree is very important. Who the horses are by are very important, and then look for the right physical. So, that sounds easy, but it does eliminate a lot of horses that are potentially very good race horses. I mean, you can fall in love with a horse physically, but then you look at the page and you think, well, is this a horse we're going to stand in the stud barn? And the answer is no a lot of times. So, we try to start with the end in mind. And that's really one. Two is when we go to a sale, we typically focus on colts. A lot of people are focusing on fillies and colts, and it divides their time. We really only look at half the catalog, and it gives us an opportunity to really study the colts a little better. So those are the two things that I think help us.
Over here on the far side, you got a microphone?
Jeff Lowe, ABR. Hey, Mike, could you compare kind of the emotions and your experience in winning the Derby on a horse that was 50-1 and then winning with a favorite? And I know also you can throw in, you've had some tough defeats in this race.
Yeah, he was 50-1, Giacomo was, but I still thought he had a chance. Honestly, I really did. So the pressure kind of was still there as far as the same. I mean, I like going in the favorite a whole lot better than I like going in 50-1, to be honest with you. I'd take that anytime. You just know you're on the horse that belongs, and certainly, those are the types of horses that you want to be on. And I've been blessed, to have been in this race so many times. I've run second, I think, four other times as well. And, I just need to stay cool and calm and get him out of the gate and get him in the right spot, get him in a good rhythm. And I knew he was he was capable of doing this. I'm more relieved right now, really, more than anything. I think later on I'll start getting excited as the days go on and just it'll start hitting me more then. But really, with a horse this talented, I just needed to do my job. And once I did that, so you're just very humbled and very relieved right now.
All these gentlemen have a party to go to. I want to ask one final question here. Bob, what time at the barn tomorrow morning? Because everyone's going to come. I know you're not going to hightail it like you did last year, so got an idea?
Well, I'm supposed to leave at, what time are we leaving, honey? 11? I might have to stay another couple days here to. Yeah, we'll be out there early, so. But right now, I'm like Mike. It hasn't really sunk it in yet. These derbies. When you're the heavy favorite like this, and you have the right horse. It's more of a. I remember winning my first derby with Silver Charm. It was just like an out of body experience, and everything real quiet. And then the worst beat ever was Cavanier, until Elliott beat me in the Triple Crown. But it's just one of these things. Just enjoy the moment. That's the way I feel about it right now. Just enjoy it, because I'm just very fortunate that you have a horse like this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Kentucky Derby, beating 19 rivals and overcoming Jill Baffert's bad luck green dress, ladies and gentlemen, is Justify. Thank you so much. Congratulations to the winning connections on Kentucky Derby 144.